Life has a very funny way with things. Life will give you all the time you need. It will just let you be. Struggle along, challenge everything, fight away, beat away, run away, until you exhaust yourself, which is what has gotten you here, and realize what's been meant for you to realize all along, and realize what life has been trying to signal you all along, that you cannot escape it, that you cannot escape life or yourself, since yourself has now become a composition of what your life has been. And life does not do that because it's vindictive or it's out to get us or it's trying to bother us or anything. Matter of fact, life does not do anything at all. But simply, this happens because you cannot be picked up from where you are right now and placed where you would love to be right now, while you know nothing about this, while you're very resistive to what this holds for you, while you are rejecting this whole opportunity because you're scared and you have no idea what this is about, unintentionally rejecting it and resisting it because you are resisting aspects of yourself that are needed to get you there. So life does not do anything at all. I mean, think about this. Imagine, think about people who are working, just any random job that requires a degree. It requires a degree. So do you just graduate and you're placed in a position that you are expected to know each and everything about? No, but you take training, you take an internship. If you have no bachelor's, if you have no degree, your employer would tell you to prove yourself, for the first month or two and work without salary. Go get the company a few sales before you ask, to be positioned in that position and get paid for it. So there is some sort of accustoming to this new position life has for you, to this new place that you are required to experience before you're able to get there. And it's this training period that most people often resist and reject many of its aspects, which are actually required to align us with our highest reality, with your highest potential, or with just your most fulfilling life as a human here. And that's what we often reject and resist. Resistance is rejection. And so as you resist, you're going to be rejecting what this experience has to offer for you. And as such, you're going to be rejecting what is supposed to come next after this experience. So just like that new position that you are required to be trained for until you understand and process your position. Otherwise, you're gonna be scared for yourself. Otherwise, you're gonna be in fear for yourself. You cannot even believe that you are in that position, that you are even expected to carry out the tasks that are required from that position. And so you are in no way in alignment with that position. But in reality, you're actually trained before you get there. And so when you get there, you understand and you know. But this is because it's obvious. It's being told to you that this is gonna get you, this training is required to get you to that position. And it's similar with life. So life is not doing anything at all. It's how we react. It's how we reject and resist our experience and what it offers us. It's how we resist our embarrassing, characteristics. It's how we resist the traits, the unfavorable traits that are essentially part of us, that we have to accept as an integral part of our journey, which is getting us to where we would like to be. And so it's this training period where we fail mostly and then suffer and struggle to move on from training into, the next phase of our life. And so life is not really doing anything. It's just, life has always been this way. We could not accept it. We never opened ourselves to experiencing life that way, to living life with that understanding. And so we have always been rejecting it. We never accepted it. And as such, it had to keep repeating. So the more there are things which you would resist, reject, and fear if they were to happen to you, the longer you make your journey to be. But that's also because those are all lessons that you need all along, that you need along this journey. And so, on the bright side, your journey is only as long as is needed, for you to learn what is required to align you with your highest potential, with your most fulfilling life. So it's you who determine the length of your journey, depending on how fast you're able to learn, depending on how fast you're able to let go, depending on how fast you're able to accept these parts of yourself, to accept whatever embarrassing traits of yourself, to accept them. There was a time, you see, I know if you're watching this video, then I'm speaking with the right person. I know that it was meant to reach you, and I know that you've tried to escape, that you are coping with whatever unfavorable traits you've been struggling with. But it comes to a point in which you're unable to cope. You cannot simply cope with something, with an aspect of your life, and just feel alright. You cannot just escape it and feel alright about it. And that's because you are meant to go all in at this point, to go all out on yourself, to go all in on yourself, to be there for yourself, to stand up for yourself, to love yourself, to give yourself the love that you need at any point in your life, to pat yourself on the shoulder and to appreciate each and every aspect of yourself, to accept those things that hurt you and then you were taught to reject them. Any unfavorable trait that you think is unfavorable to you, that you hate about yourself, that you don't like, that you hate, any aspect that you hate about your life, you do that because it hurt you at some point. But no longer to struggling, enough to escaping, enough to coping, enough to suffering, because that only delays what you are actually seeking. That only makes it harder on you. And so the faster you realize this, the faster you understand that there's no way out but through, for what it matters, that you have to face yourself, to understand what hurt you and accept it, to understand what are the traits. If you think about it, everything that you seek in life, everything that you're pursuing in life is actually running away from something else, is actually trying to escape another aspect of your life. If you're trying to make as much money as possible, if you're so desperate to make that business idea work out or come to life because you need money, it's you trying to escape your financial lack. If you are desperately clinging on to whomever would give you attention, and you seek love out of them, and you seek attention out of them, and you're begging for that attention, it's because you are trying to escape your loneliness. But the cure to whatever you want is not out there. The cure is right here within you. There's no cure for whatever you're struggling with out there. And as long as you don't realize this, you cannot have that life because you're not trained for it. But once you understand it, so if you are trying to become a millionaire but you have financial problems, you suffer from obsessive spending. Whenever you get money, whenever you get any amount of money, you're just spending it on wasteless stuff, on your pleasures, on entertainment. You just cannot keep any money with yourself contained. So how can you become a millionaire? There is contrast here. There is a clash of interests. So the more of those things you have, the more there are things which you fear if they were to happen. The more there are things which if you're always trying to be in control, if you're obsessed with control, but then you're trying to start a business, you're trying to make a relationship work, this cannot work out with your obsession of control. So you cannot become better than what you are internally. And so your journey is only as long as is needed for you to internally align with that destination, with the destination you're trying to get to. So the more limitations and conditions you put on life, the more you would actually be putting them on yourself. Life has to work this way. This thing has to happen that way. That thing cannot happen. That has to happen this way. Otherwise, I'm not going to be in agreement or harmony with life. the more of those things you have, the more of those conditions you have, the more you're actually going to be putting those conditions on yourself. Because maybe this prerequisite step has to happen in a way that you do not like, has to happen in a different way than what you are imagining for it, in order to lead you to what's beyond, in order to lead you to your dream reality. And so if you are resisting any of the stages prior to your end goal, unintentionally resisting, unintentionally rejecting, because like I said, resistance is rejection. And as long as you are very much in fear of that thing happening, as long as you're very much rejecting, you don't want to be seen that way, you don't want to be thought of that way, you don't want to be experiencing that, you don't want to this and that, then you cannot have what's beyond. Then you are rejecting the training. Because in order to imagine yourself, in order to know what that life is all about, what that breakthrough is all about, you might need to experience several stages. And if you are just opening yourself, if you're just open to life and you are in acceptance of whatever it is that life is giving to you, is making you feel, is making you think, then you will swift very quickly through those stages. But as long as you're thinking, why am I in fear of that thing? What I hate that thing. I don't wanna be thinking about that thing because it might happen. I don't wanna be feeling this way because I might attract this, or I might attract something bad for myself. I don't want to do this, I don't want to feel that, I don't want to, because you're thinking, oh, that's the best way to get there, that's the fastest way to get there, is to not feel bad, is to feel good, is to not fear that thing, is to struggle so hard, is to grind, is to do this, is to whatever. It's because you are thinking this, then you are in fear, that you are harboring internal resistance, which almost becomes innate. It's something that's been there all along, whether it's since childhood or it's something that you developed recently. But that's not the way to have whatever you're trying to achieve. That never gets you anywhere. It's rather through being there for yourself, standing up, going all in on yourself. Whatever has made you feel embarrassed, has made you feel humiliated, has made you feel fear, welcome it with an open heart. Welcome your emotions. It's not that about the experience, it's about whatever you feel. You're meant to feel it. If you are being led by life to feel in one way or another, then you are required to feel this before you can move into the next stage. But as long as you are scared of feeling, scared of facing it, scared of being there for yourself, standing up for yourself, because that's what standing up for yourself is, embracing even your darkest shadows, embracing all of your aspects, being in harmony with who you are, acknowledging that you are just a human, that this was all part of your experience, and that because this thing has hurt you, you don't have to reject it, you don't have to hate it, you don't have to resist it. Whatever has hurt you, it was due to the unconsciousness of someone else, or the position of someone else probably, or even your own unawareness. It took you longer to realize, so it's okay. But don't make this realization even further down the road. Don't push it further away, because you need, before you're able, your journey is only as long as you realize this. Your journey is as long as you realize that you are great just the way you are, that all of your emotions are valid, that all of your thoughts are valid, that everything you're experienced is valid, and it's getting you there. It's adding to you. It never took away from you, because if it took away from you, you would hate it. But if it's only something that's adding to you, if it's only something that's pushing you further along your journey, then that's something you can embrace, and that's something you can adopt. And so that's what you are doing, is not the way. By rejecting all of your negative emotions, by rejecting your shadow, by rejecting your fears, by rejecting everything, by resisting so many things internally, you are actually pushing yourself, you are actually delaying your journey much longer than necessary. It's only when you're there for yourself, it's only when you go all in for yourself, it's only when you stand in confidence and grace and speak divinely to yourself. Pull yourself higher. Accept all of those shadow aspects, because as long as you are in resistance and rejections to some aspect of yourself, the longer your journey is going to be. You cannot experience the best thing, the best image you have for life while you are not it, while you're not there yet, because you did not yet receive the required training for that thing, for that life. Whether it's to align you energetically, whether it's to prepare you, whether it's something that you need to learn to know the hacks to get there, to know the cheats to get there. It could be anything, it could be any form, it could be for any reason. That does not matter. And even something more that I realized is that the more I am in resistance, the more I am rejecting some aspects of myself, the less intuition I'm gonna receive. Like, I won't, even if I try to do the same thing 100 times, it does not work out, because I don't have that flow, that nature flow through me, that godly, that divine flow which we all share, that collective conscious pure energy that created everything in existence, and it's flowing right within you. I feel that it gets it blocked. The more I reject life, the more I reject aspects of my life, the more I reject that I don't have that thing, the more I resist not having this or not having that or not being that person or not being this, the more I shatter, I shut down this connection I have with the divine. Because even if I try to think and logic my way, and for example, like with making a video, words just does not flow. It's not there. It's like I've become a completely different person. But the more I surrender to life and to everything that I am and to everything that my life is, the more I feel divine, the more I receive that grace, the more I feel that grace. So it's kind of counterintuitive, but it's how it works. Because you are connected to an infinite source, which is also you. You simply don't realize it. With that being said, I hope this was helpful to you and it clarified what you need to do next. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, because it helps me so much and it helps this video find its way to many more others who might actually need it.